Hello all, I wanted to get this video out sooner, but it kind of worked out because one of the mods I'm featuring, Project Warfare, had a significant update that gave it a bit of extra polish, which I'll go over shortly. The mods featured in this episode focus on providing a more engaging combat experience in various ways. Timestamps are below if you want to skip to a specific mod. Lastly, a bit of housekeeping. Oh no. Please like and subscribe. If you sat through some of my videos already and haven't subscribed yet, just do it. Let's not do this. I won't tell anyone. It's okay. Hey, I'm not my first choice either, but here we are. Just me and you.
We're soulmates.
First up is an absolutely gorgeous weapon mod, the ArmaLite AR-121, uploaded by Heroic Pie, crediting 3D artist Mind and concept artist Pavel Proskurin. Apologize if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, I'm sure I am. Heroic Pie also credits a slew of other authors from around the weapons modding community for work on the weapons attachments. I just want to show off the ArtStation pages real quick for the artists that Heroic Pie linked on the mod page. The original concept art is a jaw-dropping 2D render that is familiar to a real-world weapon, yet wholly original in design. Pavel has some other beautiful concepts that would be cool to see in game. Maybe we'll get lucky. Fingers crossed. And here is Min's original model of the ArmaLite, which exhibits exceptional detail and a flawless interpretation of the source concept art. Finally, here is the ArmaLite AR-121 looking brave and stunning in game. Nothing is lost in translation from concept to game. As mentioned, other than the base weapon, there is an extensive selection of weapon attachments, including scopes, barrels, and more. The weapon can be found on the table in the back room of UC's surplus in the well on Jemison. Or like any mod, you can add it via console command, in this case using help AR-121 for weep to get the item code and then use the command player.add-item. Insert code. If you're new to modding or unfamiliar with adding items that way, the item code for mods varies because everyone has a unique mod list and load order. So whenever you install a mod, the game then assigns a specific code. Second, we have another great weapon mod, Project Warfare, Hardened Edition.
Stay hard!
By 510 Deshawn, which features 8 weapons from Call of Duty Infinite Warfare and Modern Warfare Remastered. 510 Deshawn also has a YouTube channel, which you can find by searching that same name, or 510 Deshawn Plays, which features his mods as well as modding tutorials and other gaming videos. Go check it out. This mod ports original weapons from those Call of Duty games, so naturally they are high quality models. The textures hold up well, as I believe the author gave them a boost by upscaling them using Topaz AI Image Upscaler, which works quite well. Regarding lore friendliness and immersion, they fit perfectly into the world of Starfield. Around the web, I've come across comments praising the mod as Call of Duty weapons that are more Starfield than Starfield weapons. I actually love Starfield's vanilla weapons, as I think they were a massive evolution and progression from Fallout 4. But you gotta love weapon mods. And all of these weapons found in Project Warfare were excellent choices. The list includes the Hornet, Kendall 44, the Volk, the NV4, X-Eon, which the author made an energy weapon, the Cam-12 shotgun, and the OSA. And I almost forgot the HVR. Now, as I said earlier, the most recent update included significant changes, such as improved weapon balancing. The initial criticism of the mod was that the weapons were too OP. The balancing in its current state, while not perfect, is much better than the release version. Furthermore, the weapons are now much more accessible and can be found for sale at all trade authorities. And finally, with version 1.07, 510 Deshawn successfully implemented leveled list for enemies. One sad note on the mod for now, as well as for the ArmaLite and pretty much any weapon mod in general, there are no custom animations. That is absolutely no fault to the authors, as Bethesda has yet to release animation resources for modders. I found a Reddit post from 3 months ago with someone claiming they heard Bethesda will be releasing a Blender plugin for animations, but I was unable to find a source confirming that claim. Hopefully it's real. Next up is an awesome mod that procedurally adds points of interest to planets throughout the game space. It's funny, I always want to say game world, but it feels weird calling it game world when it's like space and like multiple worlds, and I don't know, it's just a, it's a mind screw.
Leave me alone!
Anyways, Dark Universe Takeover by Kyo Sinerb noticeably increases the number of points of interest that have a decent variety. And I do mean decent variety in the truest sense. Unless I was extremely unlucky, about 4 out of the 7 POIs I visited had a similar barrack-style appearance. They did have different layouts, but all of them felt very similar. That's not knocking the work of the mod author, just want to be sure to set clear expectations if you decide to download this. Other than the barracks points of interest, I did come across a factory location and a mining facility. Excusing whatever critique I can make about this mod, ultimately I had a lot of fun taking down a bunch of enemies, and it can serve as a great mod for anyone who wants to grind for XP and loot in an entertaining way without having to resort to the use of console cheats, or having to explore vanilla locations with severely less action. It also served me practically as a testing ground for the previously mentioned weapon mods, as it's fairly easy to find one of these locations. Nearly every star system I checked had 2 to 3 of these new locations. Players can also find bounties at mission boards that will take you to these locations. However, admittedly, I had more difficulty trying to find a bounty board, which is why I just searched for points of interest by checking star systems. Lastly, the locations use vanilla enemies, which will reflect any changes you make to those vanilla assets. I experienced this firsthand, and much to my delight, when I tried out the last mod in this video. Outdoor Combat Enhanced by Yellow Zhao dramatically increases enemy density at a large number of outdoor locations. Even after reading the mod page, I'm not entirely sure how the changes are implemented, because the author says only vanilla sections are affected. Yet when I arrived at a point of interest from Dark Universe, I was surprised by a violent reception. By this time, I had already gone through a few Dark Universe locations, and this was shockingly different. After my first run through of this point of interest, I uninstalled the mod and reloaded the game, just because I wasn't sure if it was actually affected by Outdoor Combat Enhanced. But sure enough, there was far less enemies and they were less aggressive. So after I confirmed that the mod did affect Dark Universe, I went back and started again. Wave after wave of enemies descended on me, flanking me, shots fired from near and far. It reminded me of playing a classic Call of Duty single-player campaign on veteran difficulty. Going in with my arsenal of new modded weapons with hundreds of rounds of ammunition, I emptied about 2 weapons. Outdoor Combat Enhanced delivers an outrageous increase of enemies that creates an overwhelmingly fun gameplay experience. Say what you will about Starfield, Bethesda made a very fun and enjoyable shooter that I think often gets slowed down with its RPG elements. Outdoor Combat Enhanced allows for Starfield's run and gun gameplay to shine. Had an absolute blast going through the same locations multiple times. I cleared it and reloaded it twice, and surprisingly got killed on my second and third run through. If you really enjoy Starfield's shooter mechanics, I cannot recommend Outdoor Combat Enhanced enough. Yellow Zhao also released the original version Combat Enhanced Harder Combat Mode for interiors, which I downloaded, but it seems to change less areas, so I had to scratch that from this mod list because I had a hard time finding locations to test. But I assume it's similar in quality. Well, that's all I have for you folks. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks.